Today I want to show you two reserves down by the Currumbin Creek. They're right next to each other, just separated by a little small stretch of road. So I began at the Palm Beach Parklands to access the Tarrabora Reserve. It's a 1 kilometre circuit through some bush and what is the estuary for the Currumbin Creek. There's a little bit of a boardwalk, and after going through the bush for a little bit, it opens up and you start seeing views of the little inlet there at Currumbin Creek. So on one side you've got all the mangroves and the woodlands area. Looks like a bit of a dry swamp. And on the other side you've got the Currumbin Creek, and there's little access points to the beach. And then it opens up a little bit more to eventually it runs along the beach side on one side and the woodland mangrove estuary area on the other side. So you can see everybody's having a great time today. It was 30 degrees, a nice hot summer's day. There's Currumbin Rock in the distance and the sea wall where Currumbin Creek flows out into the ocean. There's some water in there, and I would imagine that at different tides and different seasons it might get even more filled up with water. Another little boardwalk before we get to the junction where we can turn right to continue the circuit, or go left and follow the road for a little bit to the next reserve, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm going under the motorway there to find the entrance to the Beree Badalla Reserve. It's a mangrove boardwalk of about 640 metres, so return about just over 1.2 kilometres. Takes you right along the edge of the Currumbin Creek with little lookouts and seats to relax and get some shade from the hot sun. You'll see some water birds. I didn't see many because I was there in the middle of the day. I would suggest going earlier in the morning or later in the evening for it to be cooler, particularly in summer, because there's not a lot of shade, and I think you'll see a lot more wildlife on either side of the hottest part of the day. Little lookouts that you can get a great view of the Currumbin Creek and everybody having lots of fun on a hot summer's day. Lots of people fishing, a bit of a boat ramp there. And here's the end, and I'm just turning back around. Now that boat ramp is opposite, I'll show you in a moment, another, here we go, on the left here. There's the boat ramp, and up the left, I'm not sure what is there, but whatever is there is probably something that needs to access that boat ramp very conveniently. So I think that's why the boat ramp is there, not for public use, but for whatever use is up that little pathway. I sat here in the shade for a bit to cool down and to see what the tide might do. It was nearly high tide and some water was coming in to fill the mangroves, but not as much as I thought. Alright, so I've returned and now I'm going left to finish the circuit of the Tarrabora Reserve. You enter into a little bit of bush here, but it soon comes to a junction where you can go left and follow the path that will go up beside the road and over the bridge of Currumbin Creek, or I'm turning right to continue on the circuit. Runs by the road there for a little bit, but then you're back in the bush and it gets a little bushy. The vegetation changes in places, so it's really interesting to actually think about what the coast is like, because so much of the coast has been developed that you don't really see a lot of what it was like originally. So I'm back on the main path now, under this great big spider web, and out the entrance again. Hope you enjoyed seeing those reserves. They are really interesting considering we don't have a lot of vegetation left by the beach in the Gold Coast, so well worth the little trip that it is. maybe just on a cooler time of day.